The children and parents from Gokul Bhajan and Vedic studies are very happy to present this small program to you on this most auspicious day. This year we are presenting an unusual program and hope you will enjoy this. When songs appear on the slides, we encourage the audience also to sing for the chorus. We start our program with Guru Vandana. The birth of Sri Krishna was so mysterious that no one could understand the real truth.
Hare Krishna. Today we are celebrating the most auspicious day, the birthday of Lord Shri Krishna. There are many hidden secrets behind the birth of Lord Krishna. Common scriptures do not give those details, but are found only in rare and secret scriptures. There were many reasons for the advent of Lord Krishna in this world. The common belief is that the Mother Earth, unable to bear the burden of sins committed by evil kings and rulers, appealed to Lord Brahma, the Creator, for help. Brahma, along with the other Devatas, prayed to the Supreme Lord Narayana.
Namo Narayana
there were many demons. Kamsa was one of them. On the day Kamsa's sister Devaki was married to Vasudeva, an Akashvani from the sky was heard saying that Devaki's eighth son would be the killer of Kamsa. The frightened Kamsa immediately pulled his sword to kill his own sister, but Vasudeva intervened and begged Kamsa to spare his wife. He promised to hand over every newborn child to him. To Devaki and Vasudeva, the Lord appeared in his four-handed form and then became a two-handed baby. As asked by the Lord, Vasudeva carried the child from their prison in Mathura to the house of the cowherd chief Nanda Baba in Gokul. He exchanged his child Krishna with a daughter born to Nanda Baba and Yashoda. But what really happened was not that simple. Common people either do not understand or are not aware of these mysteries. Some of these are described in rare scriptures such as Harivamsa and Tantra Sastras. For example, in Harivamsa, it has been described that Lord Hari simultaneously took birth in two places. Lord Krishna was born to Yashoda and also to Devaki at the very same time. Then, as a second child, Yogamaya was born to Yashoda. Yashodanandana was the Swayam, the original Bhagavan, and the one born to Devaki was the Narayana or Vasudeva, form of the same Swayam Bhagavan. When Devaki Nandana was brought from Mathura, Vasudeva could not see Yashodanandana because Yogamaya hid Yashodanandana. So, he simply exchanged his son with the Yogamaya as instructed by Lord Narayana. Devaki Nandana was brought from Mathura, merged into Yashodanandana.
Here is a pastime of Sri Krishna, showing his uncontrollable love for butter.
One morning, Krishna got up from his bed and saw that Mother Yashoda was busy making something special. He went to his mother and asked, "Oh mother, what are you making?" She said, "Oh Kanhaiya, today is your birthday, so you should worship a cow. Go and get a calf that you like best and bring it inside. I will go and bring the things for Go Puja. Don't do anything naughty, do what I say." Krishna got so excited. With dancing, he went to the Goshala and brought a very nice cow. Even though the cow was jumping here and there, he could manage to bring it inside the house and waited in the room for his mother. With the cow, Kanhaiya looked so charming. Even thousands of eyes were not enough to see his beauty. While waiting for his mother, something caught his attention. A beautiful buttercup was hanging above. His mouth started watering, and he forgot everything about Gopuja. He was desperate to eat that butter, but the problem was that there was no way of reaching it. Then a great idea came. He pulled the cow and let it stand under the hanging pot and climbed onto the cow. The idea worked great. He could reach it and was about to take his first grab of butter. But at the same time, the cow also saw something of its interest and moved away. That left Krishna hanging on the butter pot. Realizing his situation, with fear of falling down, he shouted, "Oh mother, please help, please help." Hearing his cry, Yashoda came running. She knew Kanhaiya must have done something naughty. She could not believe the wonderful scene and immediately guessed what would have happened. "What did I ask you to do?" Yashoda asked. But Kanhaiya was weeping. "Mother, please let me down! Please let me down!" Yashoda, with bliss inside and anger outside, said, "I am not going to let you down. In fact, as a punishment, you are going to be hanging like this for the whole day." We wonder, when will that Krishna be born again in Gokul? And when will we see his blissful pastimes again?
Krishna is controlled only by pure love. He even gave mother status to a fruit seller.
Here is a story about an old lady from Mathura who was selling fruits to keep her life. When she heard about the beauty of Sri Krishna in Gokul, she desperately wanted to get a darshan of baby Krishna. One day, after crossing Yamuna, she came to Gokul carrying her basket full of fruits. On that day, she could not set even a single fruit. Becoming so tired, she came in front of Nanda Baba's residence and sat outside the courtyard for a darshan of Krishna. Due to her being a lower caste, she could not enter the courtyard. That day, Krishna never came out, even though she was waiting for the whole day, shouting, "Fruits, fruits, please buy some fruits." She returned home and came back again the next day, crossing Yamuna, and still Krishna would not come. On the third day, she decided to die if she did not get a darshan of Krishna on that day. She was constantly shouting, "Fruits, fruits, please buy some fruits," thinking that somehow Krishna will hear her and come. Hearing her lamenting, Krishna jumped out from the lap of Mother Yashoda and took some grains in his hands to pay for the fruits and came running out. When the fruit seller saw the beauty of Krishna, she became like a statue, stunned. She wondered, "Oh, what a beauty! Sundaram! Oh, Sundara!" and even forgot to breathe. Krishna now reached the fruit seller and said, "Please give me fruits." The old lady now came back to her sense and asked, "Lala, what do you have to pay for?" Krishna said, "I have these grains. Here it is. Give me fruits." "Oh no, you only have few grains left in your hands. All the grains fell through your fingers when you were walking." But Krishna demanded, "I want fruits. Give me fruits." She mentally gave herself fully to Krishna, but she had one unquenchable desire in her heart. She said, "Oh Lala,
If you sit on my lap once and call me mother, then I will give you all the fruits you want. Krishna thought for a moment. Then, looking all the sides, checking to make sure no one was seeing, he quickly sat on her lap, called her mother once, and with the same speed, jumped up right after and demanded, "Now give me fruits." The fruit seller felt indescribable ecstasy, and tears came out uncontrollably from her eyes. She gave Krishna as much fruit as he could carry in his two little hands. In her heart, she felt extreme bliss because Krishna called her mother. Thinking it again and again, she could not control her tears. Like a mad person, she was talking to herself, sitting like a statue outside the courtyard. When the passing by people saw her sitting and weeping in the dark, they woke her up. But in ecstasy, she started singing and dancing. Everyone laughed at her, thinking she was mad. But she did not care. With her heart stolen by Krishna, she placed her basket on her head and slowly started to walk back to her hut in Mathura. But when she was about to cross Yamuna, she noticed that her basket was extremely heavy. She wondered, what has happened? Why is this so heavy that I cannot carry it anymore? Wondering what might have happened, she slowly brought the basket down. To her surprise, it was filled fully with very costly diamonds, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and many costly jewels. She wondered, "Oh Krishna, you gave this to me? No, these jewels have no value to me. I got the most valuable jewel from you. Compared to that, these have no value at all. You call me mother. What else do I need? I do not want anything else. I do not want anything else." She lifted the whole basket of jewels and threw them into Yamuna. With eyes full of tears, she danced calling, "Govinda, Damodara!" Govinda,
No one can describe the greatness of Brajagopis. This story is just one of them.
One of the main reasons of Lord Krishna's appearance is to have loving relations with his dear devotees. His dearmost devotees are the gopis of Vrindavan. With his flute, Krishna walked on the banks of Yamuna, thrilling everyone, mainly all the Braja gopis.
Shri Madana Sarasi Janayana Krishna played his flute, the Braja Gopis forgot everything. Their only life and soul was Krishna. When Krishna was in Dwaraka, he was always thinking about the gopis in Vrindavan. All the Dwaraka queens complained to Krishna why the gopis were dearer than them. Krishna then wanted to show the greatness of the Braja Gopis. One day, Krishna pretended to have a severe headache. Narada and all the queens got worried, wondering what to do. No medicine helped, and as a last resort, they asked Krishna himself what could be done. Krishna told Narada to collect some foot dust from his dearmost devotee. He said that the only cure for his headache was to apply the foot dust on his forehead. Narada thought it would be very easy to solve the problem and immediately asked the queens to give their foot dust because they were very dear to Krishna. But to his surprise, they all refused, saying if they did, they would go to hell. Narada then asked Uddhava, who also refused. Then he went to the Pandavas and even to all the 3 worlds, and everyone refused. With great sadness and pain, Krishna asked if Narada had tried with the gopis at least. So far, no one had even thought of asking the gopis, as they were poor, uneducated and uncivilized people. As there was no choice, as a last resort, Narada went to Vrindavan and told the situation to the gopis. Hearing the news, all the gopis came out bitterly weeping and begged Narada as what they could do. Narada explained that no one wanted to give their foot dust, as they all feared to go to eternal hell. All the gopis, without any hesitation, immediately said, "We will give it." Narada could not believe. He asked, "Are you not afraid that you may go to eternal hell as per the Shastras?" The gopis replied, "No, we do not care about any Shastra. We do not care if we go to eternal hell for this." With tears, they told Narada, "O great saint, our only desire is that wherever our Krishna is, he should be happy, and we will give him our lives for that." All the gopis then walked on the banks of Yamuna, bitterly weeping for their beloved Krishna.
The banks of Yamuna were flooded with gopis. They were weeping and walking to make food dust for their beloved Krishna. Their weeping and singing were echoing entire Vrindavan. Govinda, Govinda, Radhe Govinda. Govinda, Govinda, Radhe Govinda. Govinda, Hare Krishna. Children and parents from Gokul Bhajan and Vedic Studies, thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. We are also happy to say that our children and parents could be even produce another CD. You just heard only very few, and they are only part of those songs. Please get a copy for you. They are all available at the front desk, and our website is gokulbhajan.com. Thank you and happy Janmashtami. Janmashtami ki Hare. Thank you.